guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, of course in Tampa, Florida, and we have another favorite that you guys have been asking me for, and I'm here to deliver it. This is a 2019 Honda Accord, and as you can see it, this is the hybrid, the one specifically you want. So let's talk a little bit about Honda history. Honda's been around since the 1930s. An unbelievable brand when you think about it, especially the way that Honda branches into so many different types of industry, not just making cars and the Ridgeline truck and SUVs, but also lawnmower engines, power washer engine, even jet engines. This Honda Accord hybrid is set, ready to rock and roll up against the Toyota Camry hybrid. And that really has been its arch nemesis for so many decades. Accord's been around since the 1970s, actually 1976. That's the same year that I was born, believe it or not. But since then, really has become that leader in the industry for that mid-sized car, and with the hybrid setup, this is gonna give you maximum MPGs in a mid-sized sedan. So let's go ahead and dive into this 2019 Accord hybrid. Off the bat, you see that unique Accord styling. And to be honest with you, between you and I, since we're friends, I like the styling of the Accord better than on the Camry. But remember, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I like the headlight design. Very nice detail, blacked out inside. You got the daytime running lamps, and I really think it's smart the way it kind of interlocks with the front grille area. As we work our way down, nice flat black, and guess what? Functional. This is an air curtain. It's not meant to be like a ram air for brake cooling or whatnot, but I'm glad that they went flat black. A little bit of silver, because you know what? That makes sense. Silver, and then silver in the headlight design, and on the top portion of the grille. As we come across, speaking of that grille, I like the way the Honda logo kind of notches in right there. You got gloss black, good size opening, and you see this little bad boy right here, this little box. If you read, it says Honda Sensing. That's all their radar and laser technology for all the different safety features that this Accord hybrid has. Now, when you go up under the hood, some great body lines. My favorite are these two right here, because it gives a nice rise to the center portion. And then you have some other subtle indentations that really give you a nice peek. This metallic blue, I'm telling you, sparkles like a diamond. I really love that color. Now, as we come around the bend, the wonderful thing about this hybrid, it doesn't have to look like a weird car to be a hybrid. It looks like your typical Accord. Here's your standard wheel, machine finish with some gloss black. It's a 17-inch wheel. And the way that this wheel is designed, you can see it's a little different from any other Honda Accord wheel. These flat spots are going to help channel the air down the side of the car, because even though this isn't a full electric, you still want to cheat the wind with your hybrid. Remember, it all goes back to the Honda Insight, one of the first real hybrids ever, that little two-seater one. But anyways, enough talking about that. Let's go down the side here. I'm glad they brought the blue onto the mirrors. No turn signals or anything like that, so that is a zonk. I would like to see the LED turn signals built in, but it's okay, especially when you hear the price of this hybrid. It's gonna blow your mind. Little bit of silver chrome up top, which is smart because of the chrome on the front. Flat black and a little bit of gloss black. Of course, you're gonna have keyless entry and everything. Really love the body lines on the side of the car, especially this one down low. Gives it some nice personality. Now, as we work our way back, you got a very unique design on the quarter window, especially the way they bring the trim all the way to the nice sharp point, and then rounded out back, simple, clean setup. Now, I'm gonna warn you, it's there. Let me get some paper. So it's got that stapler design that a lot of people hate. I think if you kind of just cover that up with your hands and do that, I think it looks a lot better. So maybe that might be something down the road. Honda may take that, call it the Rady's Ride Special. We'll cover that up and you'll have your non-stapler taillights. But very clean across the back, little bit of a kick up on the trunk, and then very clean. I'm glad they didn't do anything stupid like fake exhaust or anything like that. The exhaust is actually tucked up underneath here. These aren't meant to even look like an exhaust outlet. Happy to see that. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, see what we're working with hybrid-wise. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on the hybrid. This is the first Accord hybrid on Rady's Rides, period. What in the heck are you looking at? You're looking at a 2-liter inline-4 naturally aspirated engine. When you combine that with the electric motor, 212 horsepower combined. Surprisingly, it's on the quicker side of things. 0 to 60, 7.1 seconds, quarter mile, 15.5. The car does weigh 3,404 pounds. That's 250 pounds heavier than a non-hybrid. If you're wondering where are they putting those lithium-ion batteries, they go right under the rear seat, out of sight, out of mind. Top speed 115 miles per hour. It's got 12.3-inch rotors, and the best part is this, 47-47. 47 in the city, MPGs, 47 on the highway. Let's go ahead though, see we're gonna be spending that time on the highway. Let's check out that interior. All right guys, we're inside the Honda Accord Hybrid. I know you're probably saying, Joe, I'm liking this. It's got the traditional Accord look to it. I like the color, I like the style. How much? MSRP, the way that this one is trimmed out, is $26,000 and some change. Let's see what you get to the door panels. Now, I like what's going on with the door panels there. I like the lighter gray color mixed with some of the black, and there's like this sort of wood grain material kind of going on there. It's tasteful, it's nice, and it looks great. Now, as we go from the door panel to the dash has soft material. There's more of that wood grain look to it. It's a little bit of orange peel going on. I don't really like this finish here. This finish is a little too orange peel, hard as a rock. This is on the softer side. There's your infotainment system. It does not have the updated system like you find in a lot of other trim levels and whatnot, but it does have your full functions of what you need. Now, as you come down, there's your AC vents. You got dual climate control, which is a nice touch in here. And then there's your start-stop button. I like the way they light up red on the Hondas. You got a nice cover. You see how nice and complete that looks? Open it up, voila. You got USB, 12 volt, and a nice little cubby. Close it up, like the flat black, 2 cup holders. Here's your key fob. I know you want to see that. Blue, what does that mean? It means, not Subaru, it means hybrid. That's the color. You think hybrid, you think blue. I think Subaru. But anyways, push button start with the automatic transmission, all your different gears. This does have a sport mode, believe it or not, eco mode and full EV mode. There's your electric parking brake, and then actually not too bad of an armrest. When you open it up, you got a nice little tray there for some candy for the kids. You got, and when I say candy for the kids, I'm not talking about being weird, not like that kind of candy, like your own kids. But 12 volt, you got a nice little cubby down here. Seats, this is a zonk for me. They remind me of napkins from Red Lobster, like the cloth napkins. I don't like the color, I don't like this texture. They're supportive and they're comfy. I just wish they would have done something a little bit more so with this design. But let's check out the back seat. Excuse me, not the back seat. Come on over to the business side first. Let me show you behind the wheel. Shame on myself. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of the Honda Accord Hybrid. Manual controls on the seats. Remember, at this price point, $26,000, that's to be expected. The great news is when you sit in the seats, you don't have to look at them. They actually, what they lack in looks, you get in great support and comfort. Steering wheel, I love the size, I love the shape. I just wish that it had leather trim at this price point. Love the thumb drive, love a little bit of silver there, nice horn button, and then the dash is great looking. I think that with that digital display on the left, you could scroll through all different functions there. There's your eco drive, your range. Look at that, more and more and more stuff. This does have 4 levels of regenerative braking, which is great to see, and just added technology and features. You have an analog speedometer, and then you have paddles on the back of the steering wheel. This is to go through those different levels of regenerative braking. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and really just plenty of headroom in these Accords. I'm 6 feet tall. I feel cool as a cucumber, but let's check out that back seat and see how your passengers are gonna feel. All right, guys, back seat time in the Accord. Now, one thing to know is when they came out with the all-new Accord, they actually extended the wheelbase, and that has allowed so much room in here. I'm still the same height. I didn't change, I didn't shrink on the way back here. Plenty of headroom. There's cloth everywhere. The problem is if you have kids, they're gonna dirty the heck out of this in about 5 seconds of ownership once you roll out of Tampa Honda. Little cubby area, no 12 volt or a USB, which to me is a zonk. Even at 26 grand, just give me a 12 volt. I'll go buy the adapter at Walmart and live that way. Now, pulling it down, armrest, nice and soft. It is that same light gray. You do have 2 cup holders, but I'm telling you, they really hit the nail on the head. I mean, look at this. I'm ready to go ride for hundreds of miles, and you're not stopping because you don't need to. 47 miles to the gallon. let's check out the trunk and see how much room you have. All right, guys, time to check out what kind of trunk space we have. Remember, seems that SUVs are taking over, but guess what? You can still have your sedan because look at all that room in there. Nice wide opening. The seats are gonna do a 60-40 split. And one thing I hope you noticed that when I was sitting back there was that those lithium ion batteries are under the seat, and I still had plenty of room, just like there's plenty of room in this trunk area. That's gonna make this a car that you could actually drive. You don't have to go the SUV route. But let's get to the best part. Let's take this Accord Hybrid for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Tampa Honda. We're in the 2019 Honda Accord Hybrid. The one thing that's wonderful right off the bat is that, of course, it's gonna feel and perform just like a regular conventional engine setup with the internal combustion engine only in a regular Accord. That is the wonderful thing. Very smooth, tons of room inside. I wish that this particular trim level had the touch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can go up the food chain with that and get that in. This one though, priced $26,000. That seems like a lot of car and a lot of fuel savings that you're gonna have with this car. Now remember, the paddles on the steering wheel are not to shift through simulated gears, because remember, this is a CVT. It's not to shift through simulated gears. It's actually regenerative braking. So that is technology, believe it or not, from Formula One that has actually found its way over into your regular everyday street car. And it's a great feature to have on the hybrid compared to some of the other hybrids that are out there. But just very smooth, lots of space. I like the way everything is laid out, and even like the push button transmission. At first I did not like these when I saw these in cars, but the way it frees up all this space over here is really nice, especially if you have 2 drinks in the cup holder and whatnot. But visibility is great in an Accord, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd buy a hybrid Accord, but definitely if I was looking for the perfect daily driver at a good price point, I would go Accord Sport with the 2-liter turbo out of the Type R and a 6-speed manual. That sounds good to me, even with those stapler taillights. But I like the gauge layout, especially with the hybrid, how it tells you the charge, your power. You got your regular analog speedometer, and I like the way it also tells you what the speed limit is right on that display. Easy to see on this particular Accord. But I'm gonna hang our quick right here because there was some commotion in front of us. Always, never a dull moment on Rady's rides with some of these drives. AC controls are easy to get to, and those seats, I'm telling you, they're very comfortable, very supportive, which is nice. Let me go ahead, I'm gonna slow down here since we're kind of like in this dead end area. Just real quick to do a quick acceleration example. On throttle. So like I said, with a CVT, that's the problem is that CVT just lets the revs just scream, and then you're slowly building speed. But 0 to 60 in around 7.5 seconds is actually not too shabby for the Accord in the hybrid setup, which is really nice. And the transition from electric motor to the internal combustion engine kicking on is very smooth. But rolling out, let me show you again. I'll get on throttle. The problem is with a CVT, like I said, it just allows that engine to scream. But I guess it's one of those needed things to help with the transferring between the internal combustion engine and the electric motor. Brake feedback is great, and like I said, that regenerative braking will actually help you slow down, and you have 4 different levels of regenerative braking that you can set with this car. But pulling away from a green light, very smooth. Very quiet in the cabin too. I think Honda's doing a great job with their sound deadening material. I also like the feedback. That's another thing where I think competition wise, as I get cut off, so thank you, you're on Rady's Rides. But anyways, where the Accord compares to the Camry in steering feedback, there's some magic Honda's doing with the front suspension there that really transfers the feedback. Even the hybrid, very nice and precise feel to the steering wheel, and that is something for me is important. especially because I like to drive. I like to feel engaged, and I like to know what the car is doing. And with better feedback from the front end, you're gonna feel like you know what's going on, and that's gonna help you, especially if you're going down some twisty bits in your area. It's nice to have that setup where everything feels a little bit more taut, a little bit more engaged, and the weight to the steering is really spot on. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna try something crazy in a hybrid. I'm putting in sport mode. So you hit sport mode button, tells you sport there. You got some red that lights up just to let you know you're in sport mode. But I'm gonna make a U-turn here and we'll do a little acceleration with sport mode. All right guys, sport mode acceleration on throttle. My biggest zonk, and you can hear how I have to raise my voice, is the sound of that engine because of the CVT. It's just, if you're doing pedal to the metal acceleration, it gets very loud in here. So just something to be aware of. That to me is a zonk, but I understand why they put CVTs in hybrids. I get it, but nobody's gonna argue, nobody's gonna debate about 47, 48 miles of the gallon, city and highway. That is substantial. And that to me really is something at this price point, getting that kind of fuel economy. I think really you need to consider, if you're going mid-size sedan, you need to take a serious look at this Honda Accord in the hybrid setup. But hopefully this gave you a nice little roundabout of how the car drives, how it feels. There's that regenerative braking. I'm clicking the paddles and I could feel it slow down. You could see it slow down. Very, very nice little feature there that, like I said, not all hybrids have. And that shows Honda's intentions with this car. But we're gonna go ahead, wrap this up. We'll get back to Tampa Honda, so I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, it's been another fuel saving time here at Tampa Honda with this Accord hybrid. You know what? I think if I was going the hybrid route, this is one that I would give serious consideration, especially if I was cross-shopping it with that Camry. But I definitely gotta thank Christian and the rest of the crew here at Tampa Honda. They're car enthusiasts. They want us to bring these Honda products to you, and I know that you guys want them, but if you want to keep seeing them, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Takes you right to Spreadshirt. Got to give it up for Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. He's wearing his blue shirt for the blue car. So the world is great. Check him out on @MoschPhotos on Instagram. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.